Italian is quite often considered one of the most romantic and melodious languages that exist. And so many people decide to start learning this language. And usually Italian is considered one of those languages which doesn't require too many hours. Today we're going to see together and get more specific about why Italian can be easy, but also why it can be challenging. And this is all taking into consideration that English is your starting point. So let's go. We can truly start with the very first advantage, and that is if you know English, you probably are familiar with so many Latin words and words that derive from this language. Italian is a Romance language that derives from Latin. You can find so many similarities and cognates. These are words which are extremely similar or even identical in spelling or pronunciation. They will immediately ring a bell both in English and in Italian. I don't need to tell you the English translation for these. I'm quite sure. If I tell you elegante, banca, cinema, oceano, università, there are so many words that are like this in Italian. So this is a very useful thing to know. Cognates can be really helpful, but we can start also with another disadvantage, and this is actually so fun to consider because these are false friends. We can say that false friends are like the enemies of cognates because they look so similar in the two languages, but if you have a look at the meaning, they are not related and they are actually confusing. Attend and attendere have nothing in common. Attendere, it means to wait and not frequentare. So it's completely different. Another example can be pretend. Pretend. It's not connected to pretendere. Pretendere is when you expect something from someone. Pretend is fare finta. We've also talked about how melodious Italian is, and its musicality is quite renowned. But if you think about the phonetics, it's actually quite easy. You can get familiar quite soon with Italian phonetics. And when you read, it's not like in English, you pronounce all sounds. It is usually quite intuitive. For example, you can say psicologo. You read all the letters. Compare it, for example, with psychologist. The P is not pronounced, and this is something that doesn't really happen in Italian. You read what you see. But on the other hand, of course, Italian has also its particular rules, and some sounds that exist in Italian, they do not exist in English. For example, the H sound, hospital. There is nothing like that in Italian. We say ospedale, the double consonants. If you say note, you can talk about music. But when you say notte, it's a double consonant and it's night. So they are very important to distinguish. And also the ñ and the y sounds. They are not present in English. So that's why quite often gnocchi and famiglia are mispronounced. Another positive aspect of the Italian language and what makes it easier, especially if you're familiar with English, is that some patterns, for example in grammar, some structures, they are quite similar. For example, articles. There is a distinction between definite and indefinite articles. Also the structure, subject, verb, object is quite consistent. So yes, some rules are familiar and you don't have to completely erase your knowledge of English. You can still use what you know to your advantage. However, it's important to notice that yes, we have the same structures, but there are some slight changes, and this is where it can get a bit more hairy. For example, if you think about articles, be careful. In English we have the, and in Italian, well, we have more of them. So we'll probably have to take a deeper dive into why we use illo, la, il. And to finish off, I want to give you a great piece of news. Because Italian is not as complicated as English when it comes to accents. English is such a widespread language and is spoken by millions of people. So if you think about how many variations there are, it's crazy. For example, in Italy, we don't have to make a distinction between elevator and lift cookie or biscuit. There isn't this insane amount of spelling differences, just like in English. There is a standard Italian, and that's the official language, and that's the official Italian that is spoken. But yeah, I'm quite sure you're familiar with Italian dialects. Italy is divided into regions, and these regions have very characteristic features in their language because there are dialects which local people speak as a sort of second language or a language spoken in the community, at home, in a colloquial situation. And it can also be used as a first language. Sometimes people speak their dialect much more than they do speak in standard Italian. For example, I live in Rome, e noi parliamo romanaccio. This is the dialect from Rome. And for example, if you go to a different part of Italy, you can find completely different words and expressions and idioms. So yeah, it can make it more challenging, but please don't give up. It is such a beautiful language. If you started this journey, I am super proud of you. You won't regret it, and hopefully you will fall in love even more with the culture, the food, and everything that concerns Italy. Grazie per aver guardato questo video. Thank you so much for watching. Ci vediamo presto. See you soon. Ciao!